Imagine a crowded room where every conversation feels like a drain on your energy, an ecosystem of forced interactions. Survival in these spaces requires a series of microtransactions. You trade away authentic pieces of your identity just to secure a fleeting moment of status or attention. Even when you recognize this echo chamber is depleting your mental reserves, your immediate, powerful instinct is to stay. A paralyzing fear of the isolation waiting outside that door keeps you tethered to the group more effectively than any external pressure. The exact moment you finally decide to turn and walk away from it all, you experience a profound, almost physical sense of dread. This intense panic feels entirely disproportionate to the modern reality of leaving a room or ending a relationship. This paralyzing fear originates in an ancient, perfectly functioning biological feature. This timeline maps human evolutionary history, identifying the fear of the void as a Stone Age survival mechanism. For early humans, social exclusion meant certain death. Today, our nervous system processes social silence using this exact same prehistoric circuitry. Through a mechanism called social nociception, the brain registers relationship exclusion using the exact same neural pathways as physical pain. Stepping away from a toxic environment triggers a biological false alarm, tricking your body into believing it is abandoned in a lethal wilderness. The ghost protocol is the deliberate use of this biological programming, turning silence into a tool for reclaiming autonomy. It functions by intentionally withdrawing all presence and attention from a draining social ecosystem. Here, a central hub loses its incoming connections. Your absence acts as a supply cutoff, creating an information vacuum. Denied constant feedback, the group turns inward. Members project their insecurities into the void, destabilizing the entire internal structure. Managing your own absence in this way shifts the power dynamic, allowing the toxic environment to break down under its own lack of validation. Executing this protocol leads to an immediate psychological shockwave as you step into a state of total social silence. Initially, your brain will scream in panic, attempting to force a return to the perceived safety of the toxic group. Over time, you experience a drip-drip effect, the slow realization that your physical survival continues perfectly fine despite the lack of social noise. Weathering this biological panic is the necessary step to permanently reprogram your nervous system's outdated threat response. As the fear of the void burns out, it is replaced by a state of deep psychological self-sufficiency. This silence, once perceived as a deadly threat, now functions as a protective barrier against future toxic intrusions. Sovereignty is defined here as achieving emotional independence by surviving the biological illusion of social death. You find true power in the realization that the noise of the colony is entirely unnecessary for your own fulfillment.